See you guys.
Really?
See you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We're clapping. We'd like to clap too, whatever it is.
To see this big crowded room today. I see some familiar new faces. Thank you for being here today. I'm Jean Bollendorf. I'm the president of the Kiwanis Club. Welcome to Wednesday lunch. We're also very excited to see that Don Chichester is here again today. So he's back at home. Wonderful. We also have a special card going around today. Some of you, many of you remember Bill McGee. He actually predates my time in the club, but he is turning 99. And even though Bill is no longer an active Kiwanian, we felt like it was still a very special birthday to recognize. So we have a card that's passed around to sign for him and hand delivered. The directory is on the way. We had hoped to have it today. It's not quite ready yet, but next week we will definitely look forward to having it. One other quick announcement I wanted to make is that we are very aware of sound issues in this room. I know you all have been frustrated, so have we. We had a great discussion about it recently, and we're very pleased that we've actually resolved the Zoom sound issues for folks who are tuning in remotely. What we have discovered is that speakers in the back of the room, so the far back, this corner, and in the middle are not working. So the speakers that are working, stage and behind me. If this is something that Charter Hall is going to need to work on, and if you have difficulty hearing, you are always welcome to usually some empty seats a little bit closer to the podium, so please avail yourself of those if you're having a little bit of trouble here. Okay, we're separate to have Matt Tranto. Major Matt is going to do our introspection. He's also going to follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then Sheila Bauer will introduce our guests.
I wrote a poem. Virginia is for lovers. Well, Roanoke is too. There's beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains and fountains and lots of outdoor things to do. Whether you like trains or cars or trees or horses, there's something for everyone, especially fine dining. Imagine if we kept the name Big Lick. We might be a punchline or a dirty joke. But we sound a lot more welcoming, like a community with a city called Roanoke. Now, I don't mean to leave out the county or towns of Vinton, Holland, Salem, or Cave Spring, because in a place like this, you'll find a lot of people doing really big things. It didn't take me long to find my place in Kiwanis, knowing there's high expectations that we all have upon us. We find a part of our purpose here, doing our best to help others, to serve, volunteer, and flip pancakes with our sisters and brothers. Here at home, veterans are honored and first responders too. Along with elected officials, they all have tough jobs to do. Serving as the mayor can be a big burden to bear. It'll surely be hard work for a Kiwanian and might cause them to lose their hair. Ask Mayor Sherman Lee. It's a joke, it's how I introspect. Our community is better because of people like you. Looking out for others is just what Kiwanians do. We raise money, network, and bless students with scholarships. We clean up areas outside and listen to Jean give fashion tips. Judy entertains us on the piano and we celebrate birthdays. We hear members' biographies, learn from guests, and give them praise. The City Market building is the heart of the city, but little do people know on the third floor every Wednesday, there's something prettier. A group so diverse that since 1920 has been meeting, one of the largest clubs in the world, and at the front, receive a greeting. No one is left out, not even the guests. Around the table, there's good banter as we eat and digest. Past presidents, there are plenty, and many that love to preach, But for the past year, all I've heard from Mike is outrage, outrage, outrage. When you come to Roanoke, you might think it's full of just a bunch of country folk. When you look down from the star, it might seem like a circus, but with Kiwanis and a big auction, it serves a big purpose. There are grants that are given that bless many an organization, where under God we come together to make a great nation. Sometimes these meetings might seem to be real long, but you know what they say, if you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. And good fun we do have, especially when we ring those Christmas bells. For a dickens of a Christmas allows us to be Santa's elves. So this upcoming holiday season, Virginia is still for lovers, and in Kiwanis we'll continue to do our best to serve others.
Wow. She's. It's symbolic. Since. Already certain.
Found internet superpower, thank you so much after all.
It's so cute today. Just true. What? Oh, thank goodness, what should I think?
Names.
Or you get to my hair, please.
Just the
I said. Tiffany Dennett, and Chip. She's here with Grateful Heart.
Yeah.
You stand. Katie Mason with the Rescue Mission. And she's here with Rehab. Jackie Smith with CYP. She's here with Sherry Hartman, and Sherry isn't able to come. And Jay Whitmore with At Train. We're glad to see you all here today.
I neglected to mention earlier that Dave Hartman and Sherry are both at home. Dave is recuperating very well from his hip replacement surgery. We have the good fortune of having him at our board meeting this Monday. He is not able to be with us in person just yet. Okay, next up, we have a special occasion. Jason Paul, would you please come to the podium? Jason is a super achiever. Board meeting Monday, and I think he fulfilled his very last task to receive his permanent member badge. We also discovered this morning what Jason's superpower is, but if you remember, he told me what it isn't, and that was gardening. But this morning, we discovered that it is cutting through bureaucratic red tape. So if you need help with that, he's your guy. As many of you recall, this year is the 100th anniversary of the 6 objects of Kiwanis, which are the main precepts that Kiwanis was founded on. And we have been reviewing those each week, so we're now up to number 5. And the 5th object is to provide through Kiwanis clubs a practical means to form enduring friendships, to render altruistic service, and to build better communities. Well, I would say we knocked that one out of the park just about every day. And I know many of you are like me, and you've made many, many dear friends in this. Okay, next I'd like to call up Bob Hagelman. We're going to have our grant presentation.
And thank you for the chain. As first, you see my big injection, please have a look. That also would come out by me.
Sanji, also looking at luggage. Little short. That's very. As usual, thank you guys so much for your donations to CYP. We are the Community Youth Program at St. John's the School Church right here in downtown Roanoke. Serve 35 children from 3rd through 8th grade. We have 5 Roanoke City elementary schools and all of the middle schools. And it is a jam-packed single day CYP. We have reading time. We read for 20 minutes every single day, and we have a healing fun center that reads to us and bring voices. Also, have a little bit of comprehension. You know how important comprehension is for reading. And unfortunately, we do believe in 4 children that cannot at all. So we are working on getting that approved. So your funding is going wide for all of our sources. But one of the main things that you guys are doing for us at CYP is the Virginia Explorers Program. And that is taking place this summer, 6 weeks of Roanoke City. And we are going to 4 really cool places that many of our kids have never been able to experience. And these are tied into our daily programming at CYP. So the first one is the Safari Park. I've never been, but it is one of the coolest places in this area. And it ties into our caring for animals and caring for nature in this community. The second one, we're going to Bricks for Kids. And that ties into our STEM learning and being able to build things with our hands. Is the, I know it sounds silly, but we're going to the Splash Valley. That is the local swimming park, water park. It is totally on the table for many of our families and just for price and transportation. So thankfully you guys are helping us get there and we can practice our swimming skills that we are learning. So every CYP student goes through swim lessons with us. And our 4th field trip is oh shoot, where are we going? There is more, and it's great. But I promise you, the kids are going to love it. Like teenage sports and all of you guys. It's amazing. Second one. That's the mission. This makes it it's not there. People tell us when you're good. Jim, it's gonna affect you, but
Get it right here. Hello, I'm Lee Osborne, and first, I actually made the petition started through Roanoke, 1986. Bob was president, I was chair of Gator System. For a year, they used to actually change matrix system, national to something totally fine. It happened that that was the rating government flower and Boyce Beth and Johnson globally coming back on and started the rest of the year. She back water, the idea of us going with liberty, with faith, there's really inside rest keep at 9 feet, still around keeps with me. Many years have passed since. My current goal, I'm still on the board of Restoration Foundations, which I know we set up like want. But today, the Waste Commission itself is an organization which I hope is not in the project. It's It's an essential organization to provide services to transition. Indeed, sometimes they can talk further than being homeless, and many of these people are just at that point in their lives that they need support those services. Rescue Mission provides an array of support services to all those people. And for you, it's a good example.
You're working with them.
Agency of development coordinator at the Rescue Mission. Well, and that's I got the University of Oklahoma, so I'm assuming that also on this request. So anyway, she's gonna tell us a bit about the mission from her perspective and what they're gonna do.
Just let's take a moment to think we're choosing to donate to the mission. Here at the mission, we are more than just a shelter. We believe in caring for the entire person, mind, body, and soul. The Rescue Mission of Roanoke was founded in 1948 as a soup kitchen, providing meals to hundreds a day. 76 years later, the Rescue Mission provides meals 3 times a day, 365 days a year. This meal service is offered to not only the people staying in our shelter, but to everybody in the community from the greater Roanoke Valley needing nutritious meal. To highlight the increased demand of our food services throughout 2023, we served over 199,000 nutritious meals. This average would support to 545 lunch additions year-round. With your generous, the mission will provide nutritious meals to shelter residents and community members, ensuring they receive sustenance that supports their health and well-being. Thank you again for your support of the mission. Our work simply could not be accomplished without your kind support.
We speak as Matt and Jay, please come up and tell us a little bit about the organization or how you're looking to identify the maturity. Well, many of you know the Salvation Army has been serving the Roanoke Valley for a very long time, since 1884. The mission of the Salvation Army is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to meet human need in his name without discrimination. We do that in a number of different ways. We give out snack bags every day. We come alongside folks who have food insecurities with food boxes. More importantly, not only do we have a thrift store, we help folks who are victims of domestic violence or turning point shelter. Jay, big help in helping us to write this grant. I think it's been a little while since we heard the grant was wanted to take advantage of that because you guys make a big deal in this community. We're going to be using it to provide adequate case management and skills to folks who stay in our shelter. And I don't know if you know this, but 1 out of every 3 women experience domestic violence. The majority of cases are not reported. And it's not until we shine a big bright light on them alongside folks who feel empowered and get their confidence back that can truly make a difference. Something that happens. So thank you all for supporting Salvation Army, this grand tournament.
Thank you. Talks about all the.
Congratulations to our grant recipient. That's an opportunity to help support your work. Next up, I'd like to invite Keith Hartman to the podium. As many of you are familiar, we often have our club members give an autobiography, and it helps us get to know individuals in our club who are newer members, but also for some of our more tenured members. So Keith is going to be giving his autobiography.
Thank you, President G. How's the sound? Good. So I'm a native of Pennsylvania, oldest of four, and grew up in a small town on the Pennsylvania-Maryland border called, appropriately enough, Littlestown. Littlestown, named for its founder, Peter Little, is about 15 minutes south of Gettysburg and 15 minutes north of Westminster, Maryland. One of the original Mason-Dixon markers was within an easy walk from the house that I grew up in. As kids, we used to play around it all the time. The Gettysburg battlefield was the source of many outings for us, being so close, and my summer job between my junior and senior years in college was driving a tour bus on the battlefield. That was also the year of the bicentennial, which added to the crowds. So now you know how old I am. It was a terrific experience with many fond memories. My wife and I were high school sweethearts. I was a lackadaisical student in high school, smart enough to get by without doing anything, and obviously not very motivated. However, I blossomed during my senior year, primarily due to two factors. First, I had two teachers in particular, along with my guidance counselor, take an interest in me, encouraging me, and helping me to see my true potential. The second factor was that my then girlfriend, now wife, who finished second in our class, not so subtly let it be known that if we were to have a future together, that I was going to have to keep it in gear, which I did. We went to separate colleges, she to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, me to Juniata College, a small school about the size of Roanoke College. I did well in college, where I really came into my own, discovering a discipline and drive that I had not had during my high school years. I had dual concentrations in political science and business, and qualified for a competitive internship the last semester of my senior year with the city manager's office in Winchester, Virginia, which is where I came to know and began to fall in love with Virginia. Upon graduation, through a serendipitous conversation with my family doctor, informal mentor, I was able to make some connections with the right folks at a local company that had a good management training program, one which provided me with a solid career foundation going forward. Shortly afterward, my girlfriend and I got married and settled down temporarily, as it turned out, in Gettysburg, and we're still married 46 years in counting. My biggest takeaway early on from my first boss and sales manager, who shared after working with me one day his definition of the key to success. He said, if you are organized, show up, and follow through, you'll come out ahead because you will be in the minority. It became the keystone for my career in life. Through another serendipitous conversation with an executive recruiter several years later, I landed an opportunity which took us to Richmond. That first time in Richmond, we lived there twice, was a transformational experience for us. For the first time, we were truly on our own, away from family, and had an opportunity to forge our own lives. We loved it. It was there that I was invited to join my first service club, the 80-plus member Richmond West Breakfast Lions Club. It was a wonderful experience, one where I really gained an appreciation for all that a service club could do for the community and for each other. It was during this time that my career really took off. Within a few short years, I was recruited by a great organization and relocated to Washington, D.C. The first child, our son, was born in the DC suburbs of Maryland. And within a year of his birth, I was promoted and transferred to Los Angeles. Within another year, I was promoted again and transferred to Cleveland. Everybody in Los Angeles saw me really screwed up with it. The daughter was born. After 4 years in Cleveland, we were transferred yet again, this time back to DC, where we stayed for 8 years. Another opportunity enabled us to return to Richmond for another 5 years. Our son graduated from high school while we were living in Richmond the second time, and after a round of college visitations, he decided to go to Roanoke College. I had gotten to know the Roanoke area pretty well, and indeed the entire state, during my 2 times spent in Richmond, and was thrilled with his decision. I was even more thrilled when he met a local girl at Roanoke College, and upon graduation decided to stay in Roanoke. In the meantime, we had moved yet again, this time to York, Pennsylvania, where our daughter graduated from high school. After an extensive college search, she took after her mother and also graduated second in her class. She decided to attend Roanoke College as well. Needless to say, we were all on board with her decision. In 2018, we decided to retire from all that comes with the corporate world and move back to Virginia, this time to Roanoke. Our son, daughter-in-law, and grandson are here, and we have found it to be the perfect spot. Our daughter and her family live in DC, which is not that far away. We love the area. We consider Virginia to be. After moving to Roanoke, I ran the Regional Small Business Development Center for several years, retiring a second time. Not yet ready to completely retire, I spent another 4 years with the Virginia Council of CEOs, retiring for the third and final time at Wood last month. I referenced earlier in my comments the significant influence that several people have had on my life and career, as well as the effect my experience with the Richmond West Breakfast Lions Club had on me during both of my stays in Richmond. That, along with some other impactful experiences that I've had during my life and career, have instilled in me the appreciation one person can have on another's life, often without even knowing. So you pay them back by doing what they did for you for someone else. So now, especially with my retirement, my outlets for doing just that are this club of like-minded friends, along with the congregation of our church, College Lutherans in Salem. I am tremendously grateful for both. I've lived in a lot of places, as I've shared, and I have found Roanoke to be uniquely welcoming. I often tell people that one of the things that I love about Roanoke is that people here don't care where you're from. So long as you're willing to put your shoulder to the wheel, do your part to help this community grow and prosper, then you're embraced and made to feel at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keith. That's really fascinating. I've learned a lot of new things. And now I have a lot more questions for you. I'll answer those later. All right, just a few announcements. I'm going to ask Larry and Lois to both come up and get ready to make their announcements for me. So you should still have signups for serving Thanksgiving dinner at the Adult Care Center on your tables. Guy Burr is in charge of that for us. That's November 22nd. That is where we go to the Adult Care Center, who we have a close relationship with, that we help provide Thanksgiving dinner and visit with the clients who are there in the center. And then we also you heard reference the Salvation Army bell ringing. We'll make some more in-depth announcements about that later, but we do that during Dickens of a Christmas. So that's every Friday in December. In the evenings, we'll be ringing the bell, the red kettle for Salvation Army. Okay, come on up, you guys. You each take a turn and make your announcements for us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Larry Kufel, and I'm here to remind you that our Mill Mountain Theater holiday social event's coming up quick. It's Thursday, December 5th. Start out in the Harrison Museum at 6 o'clock on the second floor at Center Square. Amy Carter will provide some heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks. That starts at 6, 7:15. We'll all head down to the tribute stage to see a great musical called Annie. And you get all of this for $50. So please invite your family, your friends, and potential members. It's a great night for fellowship. We have a great time. And if you can get all this for $50, now, where can you go better? Feel like that. Right. Got a lot of, got single blogs on all the tables. We'll get the names on there in the subpart. Thanks.
Buddy, my name is Lois James, and I love Thanksgiving, but guess what? It's coming soon. Right. All right, so everybody on your table has a thing for our West End party. And for all of these new faces in here, I love it. But if you have not been to one of our West End parties, just you have to be here on December 18th for our party because this turns into a crazy room and it is so much fun. So I'm gonna go off and make it. But just to ahead of time, we do our shopping Saturday before 18th, bright and early, 7:30, and we're there. Reed Kessler has done a phenomenal job. He's already got our Key Club friends scheduled for the shopping. And then our wrapping of all the presents is on Tuesday night, the 17th. And again, Reed has secured his church, probably Fort Presbyterian Church, where we'll wrap this year. So a little bit of change from last year. And then we have different donors for this event, which we're very grateful for. But I'm a little greedy because I like to give these kids as much as we can. So we take individual donations as well. So on your table, if you would like to donate to the West End Christmas party, put your name and amount, and you can either pay or John can bill your account. So you can say which one you'd rather do. So I hope you're as excited as I am and get ready for our Christmas party. Thank you.
We have time for one direct talk. It's gonna be Andy Stone. Come on up, Andy.
Thank you very much. There's unfortunate in my life that I want to tackle about, and that's Bill Gates. And he was in on years ago. When I went to work on the line at a college, and he saw that and so eventually I moved over to Buffalo. And worked Bill here. And he is celebrating his 99th birthday. And so, in honor of Bill, I'll thank you. And Rick, I'm going to do $99. Also, I can introduce on $250 in bonus in honor of Bill Gates. And we just like,
Thank you very much for that very generous donation. And thanks to Ken Briggs. Ken could not join us today. He's out in the community doing other good work. But he'll be back soon. If you all could please make sure that the card for Bill is still moving around the room and that everybody gets a chance to sign it, that's great. Thank you. Okay, next up, it's my pleasure. So you notice I'm wearing something special today. Some of you got the memo. Thank you very much. Others are just going to stick with your leisure wear. I get it. I'm tired. I get it.
oh no.
I even gave away all your ties. You don't even have one in the house. I understand. It's my pleasure to introduce Frank Rogan, who will be introducing our program.
Thank you, Gene, and good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. So today we got, I don't, that's what they right? You know, saying, why these guys over here? Fly guys from, it's high school, right? Yeah. Grand Heights? Grand Court. I know. It's all $9. Who's your rival? I said, Virginia High School, but it's tough work. But anyway, high school guys over here, they're all good looking guys, they're flying guys from Grand Court School, and they're got a great program going that I'll take more than 1 minute. She's plans to do the lemons of Mr. Crowd, and they're the trust principal of Grand Court School, and the guys here. Great programs on charter building and really looking good, and so you can see them sorting out and so anyway, start with the office. Good boy.
Oh, gracious. Gene, thank you for wearing your tie today, Gene. I appreciate that. All right, as always, you hang out right there. Kind of go all cuff, folks. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Will Kraus, and I'm principal of Granite Court Elementary School, Roanoke City Schools. With me today is Mr. Kenny Clements. And I also have some young men that we will introduce shortly to you. Thank you all for being here today, and I'm thrilled that Mr. Rogan asked us to introduce you all to this program that's already making a powerful impact on our school in year 2, and most importantly, on our young men. It's called Guys with Ties. This program is specially designed for our 5th grade boys to help them grow into responsible, confident, and respectful young men. It's not just about learning how to wear a tie, although they did learn how to tie a tie. It's about developing skills that will serve them for a lifetime. In Guys with Ties, our boys dive into lessons on character building, learning the importance of integrity, honesty, and respect. They gain tools to build self-esteem, understand their unique strengths, and recognize their potential. Through team-based activities, they learn essential teamwork skills and the power of supporting one another. And of course, they'll focus on etiquette, like making eye contact, shaking hands confidently, and speaking politely. These may sound like small things, but they make a huge difference in how these young men see themselves and interact in the world. So much of today is spent on these, especially with our young folks, that we sometimes forget the importance of social interaction on social media, social interaction. I'm again very proud to introduce the fantastic team leader of Guys with Ties, Mr. Clements. He brings with him a great deal of energy, empathy, and a strong commitment to helping these young men develop positive behaviors and habits. He's here to teach, to guide, and to show them what it means to be a strong role model. Mr. Clements, along with Mr. Jordan Bell, who could not be here with us today, came up with this idea of starting this program at Granite Court. Mr. Bell, in the past, had started something similar at another school and saw the benefits of it. And so we decided to bring it to light at Granite Court Elementary. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Clements to say some words, but what I will end with is that this program is not just about preparing our young men for middle school, but for the future ahead of them. We know that the lessons they learn in Guys with Ties about character, respect, teamwork, and self-confidence will stay with them far beyond the school walls. So without further ado, Mr. Clements, take it away.
Good afternoon. I want to, first of all, thank you all for the invitation. And I will speak loudly, enough so you can hear me. And what happens next is I want to thank these 5 young men for sitting there for over half an hour, but not being educated, just sit there, they just weren't smooth so bad, but they were desperate enough to sit here and listen to you, and they got some education. Of course, after we leave here, they would ask, what did they talk? So, how many of you can remember when you
How many of you can remember being where they were at 10, 11 years old? So what I want to do is I want to interact with you. That's how we got this program started, because these boys have to learn how to be one-on-one with each other, how to be in a group setting with each other, how to talk to each other, how to share their strengths and weaknesses with each other, and to be able to say, I need help, I can help you with this. These young men are growing up to be people, young men who aspire to be like art. So with our partnership with Brandon Oaks, and hopefully with Kiwanis, we have an adoption program where you can mentor these young men. These young men, we have 32 boys at grade before elementary. All of them basically wanted to come here, but we chose 5, and they will go back and share with them what they've learned. But we invite you to come to the school. We dress every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we dress, and we meet from 12:15 to 1:55 to 12:15. So if you're in the area and you want to drop in on with us, come and be a part. And we thank you. So what I would like to do now is to have some of these guys to come up and share with you what they would like to do themselves. Their strengths, their weaknesses, and as far as, first of all, let them know who you are. Why you like guys?
Hello, my name is Emerson Shires. I apologize. To learn how to be self-confident, learn character building, and self-image. We also have mentors at our school, such as Mr. Kraus, Mr. Clements, and many more. So thank you for listening to me. I know this is a short speech, but hello, my name is Bretton Hagler. My favorite part about baptizing when we go to Granny Dove so we can get our mentors. Bill, they're really. Mature review what Anderson said, character building, building one character and others see you and how to see yourself. This was short speech, shorter than Emerson's. My name is Carter, and my favorite thing about high school has probably been the people at Brandon knows come and visit us and we go visit them. And learn, so we learn how to tie a tie, like we learn manners, character building, and build self-esteem and respect. My name is Nelson. In high school class, we learn how to tie a tie, self-esteem, respect for other people and yourself, and building character. That's a short speech. Hello, my name is Josiah Hardy. My favorite thing to do is time when we go to radios and talk to come there, they teach us stuff and just one of my favorite things we did is last time we went to really grow home and one thing we really kind of proud something religion is I'm looking for shower.
It's great. You guys As an introduction, when we first go out in the community, the guys come up with questions. That's what, to get you more involved in the community. These are some of the questions that they ask. And when this is over, I would like you to remember these, some of these. Ask these guys these questions. Is there something you learned today that you did not know yesterday? If you could become the teacher one day, what would your lesson be? What is the best thing about school? What's the best thing about retirement? What's the best thing about being a Kiwanis club? Oh, voting question. What is your favorite thing to do with the family? Who is someone that can make you smile? And when you smile, what is the feeling? What do you think grown-ups worry about? What do you think kids worry about? What is your greatest strength? What is your favorite way to help others? What is the toughest part about being a kid? What is the toughest part about being an adult? A little funny story here. One of my boys went home and we explained to the parent what they would be doing. The mother called us this morning to say, his son went home. And that he was going to a gentleman's club. Hey. So the mom told Mr. Crown, said, well, I gave him some dollar bills. So the young man surrounding him said, what is a gentleman's club? He said, I'll take it later. But one of the things that the other guys have asked is, how do you become a member of his club? And I honestly shared it. I didn't know. I'm sure there's an application process, but then he said, well, do you have to have white hair? These guys make me proud because this program was started, when I was a counselor in Rocky Mountain. I saw the program work over there, and I brought it to Rocky Mountain, to Roanoke, to Reading Court. And I'm very proud of these guys. They help me, we help each other. And like I shared with you earlier, there's something that we can help you do. Let us know. And we do invite you to come see us always. Thank you. Now, I'd like to point out, so if you look at the screen here, this was an activity that we did last year. We have partnered with Brandon Oaks, and Mr. Clements is right. We would certainly love to partner with you all on this. We had our Brandon Oaks residents, again, that we call mentors, come over along with Mr. Bell had his fraternity members come over, and we did something called the Amazing Shake. And we kind of promoted as though it was a game, and they had to interact with the adults, and the adults would then vote on who did the best job of shaking a hand, making eye contact, being able to have a conversation. And it was just a really fun event. So that's one of the pictures you see up here. Mike, if you just want to keep scrolling through, we've answered some of the questions that are on. Again, and we will go over to Brandon Oaks occasionally. They come to us, we go to them, sometimes during the holidays. Yeah, you heard Mr. Hardy say that we went over to Brandon Oaks just in October, and they had this really big festive thing going on with Halloween. The kids loved it. We go around the holiday time. I think the plan is to go again this year, to sing Christmas carols. They'll come to visit with us and they'll go through some of our lessons. And Mr. Clements will organize that with some of our members of Brandon Oaks. But again, these are things that, and I can remember, I'm a Roanoke City boy myself, went to Pastor Henry, and I can remember at middle school that our school resource officer taught me how to tie a tie. Don't tell my dad that, but the SRO taught me how to tie a tie. And so when we had the conversation about maybe bringing this program on board, I remember that from many years ago. And it's something, there's a great picture of Mr. Bell helping our kids learn how to tie a tie. And I do want you to know that the young ladies got very jealous of guys with ties. So they created Girls with Pearls. So we do have a Girls with Pearls program, all you ladies out there. And they're loving it too. But it's very much like a social organization. We want to help give back to the community, certainly give back to our children. But the hope is that they will remember these things as they go on to middle school, as they go on to high school. They'll certainly remember. Standing here today and speaking in front of you is a perfect example of something that we help teach them. And while, yes, you guys gave very short speeches, that's okay. It was big and bold of you to just get up here and come to me. So they kind of shared their favorite part of Guys with Ties. I'll tell you, my favorite part of Guys with Ties is hearing from parents how much they appreciate what we're doing with their children. And I can see Mr. Hardy shaking his head back there.
That's right.
Thank you, sir. But it really is. It's something that we have enjoyed, and something that they've also considered starting at several other schools in Roanoke City. So I think that might be it, Mike. I don't know if there's any, what have you learned? How will this help you in the future? You guys want to answer these questions? You want to answer anything? Okay, here we go. Of course. And then we'll do some questions here. Let me get them to answer this. We would love to take some questions. Okay. Which one do you want to answer? Okay, how will this help you in the future?
Because I learned how to tie a tie. My dad to help me more.
That's good.
I'm looking forward to Brandon Oaks in the future when they're coming to us in more field trips. How we can learn how to be more respectful and have more manners. I would like to be being respectful and having better manners. Well, in the future, because in the future I'll have good manners. Right. If I'm back, I would. Yes.
Mr. Bell is a part of Apple Ridge Farms. That's where he works. And so we take an end of the year field trip up to Apple Ridge to visit with them up there, and the kids love it. The plan is to go back again this year. Hopefully our Brandon Oaks residents can come with us this year. So yeah, we will be happy to take some questions if you'd like to ask some questions. Yes, ma'am. Great question. It was, is it limited to 5th grade and is there a reason? We have had thoughts about expanding it down to younger grades, but our thought was we want the rest of our students, the younger students, to look forward to being part of this program. In 5th grade, it gives them kind of it allows these 5th grade boys to realize the role that they have in our school and the importance of representing well and allowing those younger kids to be a part of it as they get to that 5th grade. That's a good question. Great question.
fifth grade boys worry.
What do fifth grade boys worry? Why don't you share with everybody? What do you guys worry about?
Homework. Sports.
Sports also.
What?
Girls.
High school math and my literature.
Or notice none of them said coming to my office, just. I don't ever see these guys in the office. And yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's, this is a precursor to some other type of activity or involvement. This age was about the time that I got involved with Scouts. And I found that a lot of things these guys are learning and trying to learn, were reinforced and taught in that context. I don't know, opportunity in middle school, I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, it's a great project and a great thing. I hate to think of it just being 1 year, so I was kind of curious, where's it go from here?
That's a great question. And Mr. Clements, jump in if you want to, because one of the thoughts that Mr. Clements had was, he's hoping that the mentorship aspect of things carries on through to middle school and high school years. Sure.
I've spoken with some middle school counselors already, and they're all aware of the guys' ties and our school. So I introduced how it was done. We started with us. I cannot say that they want to do it because they have more things that they need to do on their end. We have more flexibility with elementary level. And as far as what these guys are also learning is these guys, they have mentors too with Brandon Notes. By the end of the year, these young men will become mentors to either fourth grade or to first graders. So as far as building the lower grades up, these guys are responsible for helping them. Last question.
Thank you. I'm not recording with you. So if we wanted to partner with you to do certain things, how can we, who should we contact?
It's a great question. You can certainly reach out to me, or Mr. Clemens, and we will be happy to have discussions and talk about those partnerships. Great. All right. Thank you all very much for having this evening.
Screw this point to Apple Ridge. For those of you who didn't quite get that, young Josiah is the son of our member Milton Hardy. And to answer this young man's question, well, first of all, I'm not an exotic dancer in this style. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to have white hair to be in Kiwanis. Number three, although you guys are a little bit young to join this club, Kiwanis does have K Kids, which is elementary school. So if you ever think you might want to have a K Kids club at Brandon Court, just let us know. I will remind everyone that next week for our lunch, we're having our Thanksgiving lunch, so you can look forward to some tasty turkey for that. Our speaker next week is Amanda Capper. She'll be talking to us about the new YMCA that's opened up at Tanglewood, is opening up at Tanglewood. And it is 1:29. We are officially adjourned. Thank you, Brendan.